experiencing hip pain and popping, then this hip stability routine is for you. I'm Dr. Sienna Clark with KitKat 55 Fitness, and for today's routine, you're going to need a barbell, a pair of dumbbells, a small step, and 2 resistance bands, a small circular loop band, and a longer loop band. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel and click on push notifications so you know every time our workouts post. We've got 3 different circuits for this hip stability routine. For the first circuit, all you're going to need is your band. Bands are great for developing endurance and strength in muscles and provide just enough resistance to allow you to be able to perform the movement with less pain and control the amount of pain and range and amount of pressure or resistance you're willing to apply. We're going to start getting on the ground. So our hips are right part of our pelvis, and a lot of the muscles in our hips attach from our back, and a lot of them are in our glute. So working our back muscles and our core is very important. So we're going to start 30 seconds doing Supermans to hollow holds. Here we go. So you're going to tighten your glutes, squeeze, and lift your body up, holding 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you're going to rotate and switch over into a hollow hold, holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, halfway through, 15 more seconds, and keep holding, switching back and forth. So our hips are a ball and socket joint. Try to keep stability in here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 30 seconds. Now you're going to go over and go into a side bridge. Now, with our hips, it's a ball and socket joint. That allows more mobility, and with more mobility comes less stability. Therefore, we want to create stability, and a way to do that is by creating stability and shape within that bone. Go ahead, we're going to get up into that side bridge clamp. So you're going to come up, hips forward, tummy tight, knees in line with your shoulders. Don't let that hip rotate, and you're going to clam for 30 seconds. Back and forth. Don't let that hip rotate. Make sure you're feeling it in your glute. Now, when we are born and we're growing and developing, we go from lying on our stomach to our back to crawling to kneeling to standing. All those different movements and rest, switch and do the other side, create the shape of our hip bone. Therefore, if we strengthen our body with control in these movements, then we can help provide more stability and the optimal shape of the bone that we want for our hip, in turn, reducing pain and popping. Keep going, 10 more seconds here, and then we're going to go onto our hands and knees, which will be like that crawling position. Keep going, and in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. On your hands and knees. We're going to do a bird dog hold with taps. So go ahead, get your shoulders back, your tummy tight, and then you're going to lift one arm out, the opposite leg is going to come out. For 30 seconds, you're going to tap side to side. Now during this time, we've got one leg that has all the weight on it. So our hip bone is being compressed in the socket. At this time, our muscles have to co-contract all around that socket to provide stability. This movement and exercise, creating stability by co-contracting, allows to reduce pain. Good. And go ahead and switch. That's 30 seconds. Get your tummy tight. Always make sure that your core is coordinated with your hips and your pelvis. Tummy tight. Other arm extends out. Leg extends out. You still have that band on there. Hips pointing forward. It's all about control here. Back and forth. Keeping all that weight into that one leg. Making sure everything is even and aligned. Keep going. 10 more seconds. You should really feel this in your glutes, a little bit in your core, a little bit in your shoulder, and in 3, 2, 1. We're going to go ahead and go back to the Superman to hollow holds. Once again, when we are developing, we are rolling from our stomach to our back. So that's exactly what we're doing here. Come up, hold, and then use the momentum of your body. Go into that hollow hold. Make sure your core is tight, back flat, arms up overhead, and switch back. And we're just going to keep going back and forth with 5-second holds. until the time is up. Almost there. And in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're gonna go back into that side bridge plank. So get on your side, come up, use those hips, bring them forward, and we're gonna clam. So this exercise really works our glutes. Our glutes, especially our glute med, is the main stabilizer of our pelvis. If our pelvis has control and our hip bone goes into the socket at the pelvis, then we can create more stability by creating more stability in the pelvis muscles. Keep going, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and switch. And clams and side planks and side bridges are ones that get a good, nice max volume of muscle contraction of our glutes. And if you want any muscle to really get some kind of hypertrophy, the muscle, actual muscle, has to be stimulated at least 70% of that mass volume of the muscle. This is a good one that'll get a lot of that mass volume of your glutes. There we go. And in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead, back over onto your hands and knees. Going into that side bridge, not side, but bird dog. Tighten your tummy, lift one arm up, the other leg comes up. Keep everything nice and tight and even, and tap side to side. Keep your shoulders pinched down and back, and your hips aligned. It's about control here. Really use your glutes. You should feel this in your butt muscles, not as much in your hamstrings. Keep going, and in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're gonna switch and do the other side. Shoulders back, tummy tight. All these points of performance are key to create the muscle activation we want, which will improve the muscle function, reduce dysfunction, and reduce pain. Keep going back and forth. Keep breathing through it. Keep your core tight, your pelvis aligned. 30 total seconds here. Then we're going to go ahead and go back into the Superman hollow hold. And in 3, 2, 1. Back down onto your stomach. Go into that Superman. And switch over to the hollow hold. And hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And switch. Use those back extensor muscles. Really use your glutes here. Flip around. Really focus on your core, those front muscles, and your hip flexors. Keep going in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, now we're going to go back over to that side bridge clam. Go on your side. Make sure, key thing, keeping everything aligned. 30 seconds. Lifting that top leg up. Really squeezing your glutes the whole time. Keep it contracted throughout it. Don't let it relax. Keep going, hips forward. And in 3, 2, 1. Switch and go to the other side. And then back up and clam. 30 seconds. You guys got it. You're having to work a little bit of your inner thigh muscles at the same time to keep your body upright, creating stability and control on the outer and inner thigh muscles, as well as your trunk during this workout. Good. Go ahead and go back into the bird dog. Lift one arm up, get your tummy tight, other leg lifts, and you tap side to side. 30 seconds. Try not to let those hips rotate at all. You want to make sure everything stays nice and aligned. You want to learn control in this good, nice, optimal position. And in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch. Do the other side. Tapping back and forth. It's really important to coordinate your hip muscles with your core in order to provide enough stability, a nice foundational base for your limbs to move off of. And in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice work. We're going to get into our second circuit. For the second circuit, we're going to need a bulk of our equipment. So you're going to need your barbell. You're going to also need your pair of dumbbells and your long loop band. The first routine part of what we're going to do is going to be in tall kneeling. So we go from, in that developmental sequence, laying on our back to our stomach, getting into that crawling position, and then we gotta come upright. So we're gonna start in this tall kneeling position. You're gonna grab your barbell, and you're gonna get it out in front of you. Yeah. So we're gonna do 8 reps on one arm and 8 reps on the other arm, and we're gonna do tall kneeling into landmines. So you're gonna pick up that barbell, and then you're gonna press it up. As you press it up, you're gonna squeeze your glutes and extend your hips forward, and then come back down nice and controlled. Keep your core tight throughout the movement, up and down. Number 3, we're gonna go to 8 and then switch to the other side. This is a great one to improve the control of your hips, using your hip flexors and also using your hamstrings and glutes for the movement. Great, you're switched after you've done 8, that was 8. And let's go ahead, we're gonna do 8 on the other side. Coming back down, and then landmine, press up, and then back down. Really keep your core, see there's an arch. Keep that core tight, that pelvic tilt throughout the entire movement. Once again, it's really key to coordinate your trunk with your pelvis and your hips. That coordination and control between all of them is what's gonna provide stability. Keep going. Number 7, and then we're gonna go into number 8. Nice work. Next one, what you're gonna need is that long band. You'll need to loop it around something that's stable. You're gonna use it. I'm gonna grab out my band here. So we go from tall kneeling to half kneeling before we can stand up. Each one of these helps the shape and movement of our hip bone, keeping it nice and socket. So I'm gonna start in this half kneeling position and get that Pallof press, anti-rotation. So you want it centered, get your tummy tight. And this half kneeling, you're kind of in a lunge. You're gonna come up, hip up, knee drive, hold a second, tummy tight, and control it back down into that reverse lunge. And back up, we're gonna do 8 reps here. Back and forth, making sure that your knee is in line with your hip, knee in line with your shin as well. These being in line with each other increases the joint space and reduces any kind of pinching that can cause irritation and pain, and then leading to also popping. That can happen in your hip and even in your back. Number 7, one more, then number 8. Nice work. We're gonna switch and do the other side. Once again, starting in that lunge position, tummy tight. You're coming up, keep it balanced, and then back down. So we're working our side trunk muscles. We're really working our hip and glutes to keep our hips from dropping, keeping it upright. Back and forth. We've got some balance here. So with stability, right, balance is part of stability. So if you integrate balance exercises, you're gonna create more stability in your hip. Keep going. 7, last one, 8. Nice work. Last, what you're gonna do is you're gonna need your pair of dumbbells. I'm gonna do a dead bug with weight. So we're gonna get our backs on the ground, get that tummy tight, rolling those hips back, knees at 90-90, arms overhead, and opposite arm and leg, just like the bird dog. And the leg extends, the opposite arm extends back, keep your core tight, bring it in, and alternate. 8 reps. Keep going. 8 reps total. Number 6, number 7, number 8. Good. Now, what you're gonna do is gonna start back at the beginning. Go ahead, put those barbells, dumbbells down, and get your barbell out. I'm going back to that tall kneeling landmine. So, start on the bottom, grab the weight, tighten your core, come up and press up, and then back down. Really leading with those hips, squeezing those glutes. This will really help you learn how to use your glute muscles to extend your body forward. This will help you lift objects, push things overhead, push objects in general in front of you. 2 more. Your glutes have a lot of power and create a lot of stability for you. All right, then back down and back up. Number 3, 4, 5, 6, really work your core. 7, last one, 8. Nice work. Go ahead and put the barbell down. And we're going to go ahead back over to the anti-rotation hold from a lunge to a single leg balance. So go ahead, and it's that outside leg that should be doing the driving leg. So the front leg is the one that's closest to the band with your foot flat. Get that anti-rotation in there. Don't let it move. Keep it nice and stable. Tighten your tummy. Make sure everything's nice and aligned. Turn your knees out. Come up. And then slow and controlled back down. Notice my knee's not coming forward. I'm sending my butt back. So if stay behind the midline, our midline, we're going to be working what's behind it. So if we stay behind our midline, we're working our behind. Keep going. Number 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Switch to the other side. Back down, that half kneeling to standing. Creating that motion we're learning as we're growing and developing. All these movements as we're developing help create the muscles, the shapes, and activation that create our stability and our control and allow us to perform dynamic movements. All right, last one. Okay. Now go ahead and grab those dumbbells. We're going to get into that dead bug. 8 reps. Both arms up, legs in tabletop, core tight. Extend one leg back. Opposite arm goes overhead, comes back together. When we're walking, when we're running, our arms and legs are moving in opposite directions. So our right arm moves forward as our left leg moves forward. So creating a sequence of alternating movements under control will help us learn control when we do those other dynamic movements and functional activities. Good work. That completes the second circuit. For our final circuit, you're just going to need your step. So go ahead, grab your step. We're going to work on more of that single leg stability. So once we've learned how to stand, then we got to be able to stand in dynamic positions. So that's the last part of the circuit. We're progressing from laying on our stomach to standing up. Get this far enough back. Okay. I'm going to show you a side view to start. We're going to do a star. So a 3-way. So get your tummy tight, and you're going to step down like a forward step down. Note my knee doesn't come forward. My butt goes back so that I'm working those back muscles. Like I said, behind the midline. So then you're going to go out to the side, tap, and then back and tap. We're going to do this 6 times. That was 1. This is 2, 2, 2. Make sure my heel is just barely tapping the ground. If I had an eggshell that I was tapping, I would not crack it. Keep control. Try to keep your balance here. Keep your weight back. Number 3, number 4, 5, and whoop. It's okay to reset. Number 6. This is supposed to be a balance challenge. All right, other side, same thing. I'll show you front view this time. Make sure your knee control is important in both positions. Don't let it move in or out too much. Focus them more out to create more joint space and also activate your glute muscles. Your glute muscles are the biggest muscles in your whole body, so we want them doing most of the work. Keep going. Almost there. Number 4, 4, 4, 5, 5, 5, 6, 6, and 6. Lastly, we're going to do a core challenge, a little bit more aggressive than the other ones. Really control our hips in this big circular movement. So we're going to work our lower abs, which create a lot of stability for our trunk and pelvis. So get your tummy tight. You're going to extend your legs out, crunch in, bring them up, drop them down a W, back to the center, and bring them back up and in and down. We're going to do this 10 times. Out and around, in and back. Number 3, coming up, make sure your core is nice and tight, back flat to the ground. If you have any popping in your hips, see if you can find a popping free range. So instead of maybe making your legs as wide, do smaller movements instead. The key is performing movements in a popping free or pain free range. If we go in a painful range, then it causes inflammation, irritation, which inhibits healing. And if we go in a popping range, then we're allowing our body to compensate, which is causing it to pull on different muscles and change the control and motion our hips are supposed to be going. So going a popping free range, we can build up endurance and control in that range, then go further ranges as they become popping and pain-free. Nice work. We'll do one more round of that. Starting back at the top, 6 and 6. 1, 1, 1. Try to make sure your knee alignment stays nice and controlled. Pick up speed if you can, but always remember, this is about control more than speed. You go into speed only when you still maintain control. Last one, number 6, 6, and 6. Switch. 1, 1, 1. Tapping with that heel. Forward, side, and back. Keep going. This is a good single leg balance exercise that lets you move in different directions so that the muscles have to fire in different angles, creating even more stability in your hip. Almost there, one more. Last one, number 6, 6, 6. Go back to the ground, reverse crunch into those W's. So tummy tight, crunch in, legs up, bring it around and back up, bring it in, crunch down, and repeat. We're doing this 10 times. Then after that, ends our hip stability routine. If you do this workout 3 to 5 times a week, you'll find out you'll have so much more control in your hip. It might even reduce some back pain, because a lot of trunk and lumbo-pelvic stability is exactly what you need to reduce back pain as well. Almost there, 3 more. Keep your core tight. Making sure that nothing's popping, not in the back, not in the hip, decreasing the range if it does. Last one, bring it in, bring it up. Make sure that back doesn't arch. Going around, back up, bring it in, and down. And that completes our hip stability routine. Stay tuned for our next video and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok.
Remember, subscribe to our YouTube channel and click on push notifications so you know when our next workout posts.